Before we get started, it's crucial to understand that this presentation is for educational and informational purposes only. I am not a licensed insurance professional, claims adjuster, or financial advisor. The auto insurance and repair industries are complex and state laws vary. Always consult with a qualified, licensed professional for advice tailored to your specific situation and policy. That email notification pops up. The subject line reads, "Your vehicle repair estimate." A knot tightens in your stomach. You take a deep breath, click it open, and scroll down past the jargon, the codes, the part numbers until you see it. The grand total. And it's a number so staggering, so disconnected from the dent in your bumper, that for a second you think it has to be a typo. $5,000. $8,000. $12,000. How is a minor collision, a parking lot mishap, going to cost more than a down payment on a new car? You feel powerless, confused, and you suspect deep down that you're about to get taken for a ride. And you know what? You might be right. That document you're staring at isn't just a bill. It's a battleground. It's a complex negotiation happening in a language you were never taught, written by people who do this every single day. On one side, you have the insurance company, whose primary financial interest is to pay out as little as possible while still fulfilling their contract with you. On the other side, you have the body shop, whose primary interest is to get paid as much as possible to repair the vehicle correctly and profitably. And you're stuck in the middle, armed with nothing but your policy and a sinking feeling. You're expected to approve a multi-thousand-dollar transaction based on a document that might as well be written in ancient hieroglyphics. Lines of code like R&I, abbreviations like LKQ, and labor rates that seem to be pulled from thin air. It's designed to be overwhelming. It's designed to make you throw your hands up and just say, "Fine, whatever, just fix it." But not anymore. This guide is your Rosetta Stone. Over the next several parts, we are going to pull back the curtain on the entire auto insurance estimate process from top to bottom. I will teach you the secret language of adjusters and repair planners. We will break down every single section of a standard estimate so you understand what you're paying for. You will learn the critical difference between an OEM part, an aftermarket part, and a used part, and what each one means for your car's safety and resale value. I'll show you the common tricks and tactics used to inflate costs or cut corners, and how to spot them from a mile away. My promise to you is this: by the time you finish this guide, you will never be intimidated by an insurance estimate again. You will be able to walk into any body shop or speak to any insurance adjuster with the confidence and knowledge to ask the right questions, challenge the questionable charges, and ensure your vehicle is repaired properly, safely, and fairly. You will be in control. So let's stop talking and start doing. Pull up a sample estimate online, or even one of your own if you have it. We're going to start at the very top in a section most people ignore. The header. It seems like just basic information, but every single box here is critically important and can be a source of major errors. First, you'll see your claim number and policy number. These are your golden tickets. Nothing happens without them. When you call your insurer, this is the first thing they'll ask for. When the shop orders parts, they reference this number. Double-check that they are correct on the estimate. A single wrong digit can send the bill to the wrong person or policy, creating a bureaucratic nightmare you do not want to be a part of. Next, look for date of loss and date of inspection. The date of loss is the day the accident happened. The date of inspection is the day the adjuster or shop first wrote this estimate. Why does this matter? If there's a huge gap between these two dates, say several weeks or months, it can raise questions. Did more damage occur after the accident? Has rust started to form in exposed areas? An insurer might use a long delay to argue that some of the damage isn't related to the original incident. It's your first clue in the timeline of your repair. Now, the vehicle identification number, or VIN. This 17-digit code is your car's fingerprint. It tells the shop and the parts supplier everything. The exact year, make, model, trim level, engine size, even the factory where it was built. If this number is even one digit off, you could end up with the wrong bumper, a headlight for a different trim package, or a side mirror without the heated sensor you paid for. This is one of the most common and most frustrating sources of repair delays. Always, and I mean always, match the VIN on the estimate to the VIN on your car's dashboard or your door jamb sticker. Verify it yourself. Don't trust that they got it right. A 5-second check here can save you 5 days of waiting for the right part to show up. Let's talk about the big one, your deductible. The estimate will clearly state your deductible amount, say $500 or $1,000. This is your portion of the bill. It's the amount you have to pay out of pocket before your insurance coverage kicks in. Now, here's a crucial point of confusion for many people. You do not pay your deductible to the insurance company. You pay your deductible directly to the body shop. Usually when you pick up your finished car, the insurance company pays the shop for the rest of the bill. And be very wary of any shop that offers to waive or bury your deductible. While it sounds tempting, it's almost always a form of insurance fraud. They're making up for that money somewhere, either by overbilling the insurer, using cheaper parts than they claim, or skipping essential repair steps. It's a massive red flag that the shop might be cutting corners elsewhere, too. Finally, in this top section, you'll often see a little diagram of a car with an X or shading on it. This is the point of impact. It seems simple, but this little X is the opening argument in your repair case. It tells the insurer this is where the damage started. Every repair listed on the estimate should logically flow from this point of impact. If the X is on your front bumper, but there are charges for repairing the rear taillight, you have a problem. That's a red flag for either a fraudulent claim or a sloppy inspection. This diagram sets the scope for the entire repair, and it has to be accurate. See, we haven't even gotten to the first line item, and already we've uncovered 5 potential landmines that could derail your repair, cost you money, and cause massive headaches. You are already more informed than 90% of drivers out there. But the header is just the appetizer. The main course is next. In the next part, we dive into the guts of the estimate, the line-by-line breakdown. We're going to talk about labor rates. What is body labor versus paint labor? And why are they billed differently? We will finally demystify the codes and abbreviations, and most importantly, we will begin the great debate: OEM versus aftermarket parts. This is where the real money is, and you do not want to miss it. So let's break down those labor rates. You'll see separate lines on your estimate for body, paint, mechanical, and sometimes frame labor. And you'll notice they're not all the same price per hour. Why? Isn't work just work? Not at all. Think of it like building a house. You pay your plumber, your electrician, and your painter different rates because they have different skills, different tools, and different overheads. It's exactly the same with your car. Body labor is the rate for the physical nuts and bolts of the repair. This is the technician who removes the damaged fender, straightens the dent in the door, or replaces the bumper reinforcement bar. It's highly skilled work involving welders, grinders, and precision measuring, but it's the foundational rate. Then you have paint labor. This rate is almost always higher. Why? Because painting a car correctly is part science and part black magic. It requires a massive investment in equipment. We're talking $100,000 plus downdraft paint booth to keep the environment perfectly clean. It requires expensive, computerized paint mixing systems to even attempt to match your car's specific color, which can fade and change over time. The materials themselves, the primers, the base coats, the clear coats, are incredibly expensive. And the technician, the painter, is a true artist. Their ability to perfectly blend a new color into an old panel is a skill that takes decades to master. So you're paying for the environment, the equipment, the materials, and the artistry. Next is mechanical labor. This rate is often the highest of the three. This is for any work that involves the mechanical systems of the car. Replacing a condenser for the AC, disconnecting a steering rack, fixing a suspension component that got bent in the crash, or performing a wheel alignment. These repairs require a different set of specialized tools, expensive diagnostic computers, and a deep understanding of how the car's systems work together. With today's cars, a simple bumper job can easily become a mechanical job when you have to remove and recalibrate parking sensors, adaptive cruise control radars, or lane keeping cameras. That's a specialist's job, and it commands a specialist's rate. Finally, you might see frame labor. This is the top of the food chain. If this is on your estimate, the damage was significant. Frame labor involves putting the vehicle on a massive high-tech rack, a machine that can pull the very skeleton of your car back into its exact factory dimensions, sometimes down to the millimeter. This isn't guesswork. It's automotive structural engineering, and it's the most critical and skill-intensive labor there is. Understanding these rates is the first step. The second is understanding the language they use to describe what they're doing. You'll see a bunch of abbreviations. Let's decode the most common ones. R&I means remove and install. This is for a part that is not damaged but is in the way of the repair. For example, to replace a fender, you might have to R&I the headlight. They're taking it off carefully, setting it aside, and putting the exact same one back on when they're done. R&R means remove and replace. This is for the part that's actually broken. They're taking the old one off and it's going in the trash. It's being replaced with a new part. Simple as that. O/H means overhaul. You'll see this on things like bumper covers. Your bumper isn't just one piece of plastic. It has fog lights, grills, emblems, sensors, and trim pieces attached to it. An overhaul means the technician is taking the new, bare bumper cover and carefully disassembling all the good components from your old bumper and reinstalling them onto the new one. It's detailed, time-consuming work. And then there's the big one: blend. If you have a door that's being replaced or repaired, you will almost always see a line item for blend adjacent panel, like the fender or the rear door. You might think, wait, that fender isn't damaged, why are you painting it? This is the hallmark of a quality paint job. It is physically impossible to perfectly match the paint on a single new panel to the rest of your car. The original paint has been baked by the sun, weathered by the elements, and might even have slight variations from the factory. If a shop just painted your new door and bolted it on, it would stick out like a sore thumb. Blending is the process of fading the new paint from the repaired panel onto the adjacent panels. This tricks the human eye into not seeing a transition. It creates a seamless, invisible repair. If your estimate doesn't have a line for blending an adjacent panel, you should be asking why. It's a corner that some low-quality shops or insurers try to cut. Now we get to it. The single biggest, most controversial, and most important section of your estimate: the parts list. This is the main event. This is the great debate of OEM versus aftermarket. On your estimate, next to each part being replaced, there will be a description. It might say fender, and then in another column it will list the part type. This is where you need to put on your detective hat. First, let's define the terms. OEM stands for Original Equipment Manufacturer. This is a part made by or for your car's manufacturer. It's a genuine Toyota part for your Toyota, a genuine Ford part for your Ford. Comes in a box with their logo on it. It is, for all intents and purposes, identical to the part that was on your car when it rolled off the assembly line. It's guaranteed to fit, perform, and meet all the same safety and quality standards. It is also by far the most expensive option. Then there is aftermarket. An aftermarket part is a copy of an OEM part made by a completely different company. These companies reverse engineer the original part to create a replacement that is designed to look and function in the same way, but at a much lower cost. And insurance companies absolutely love them. Here's the fundamental conflict. The insurance company's primary obligation is to return your vehicle to its pre-loss condition. Their argument is that a brand new aftermarket part accomplishes this while saving them, and theoretically, you, through lower premiums, a significant amount of money. To combat the reputation of poor quality that plagued early aftermarket parts, the industry created a certification program called CAPA, the Certified Automotive Parts Association. A CAPA-certified part has supposedly been tested by an independent body to ensure that it fits, performs, and is just as safe as its OEM counterpart. So when your estimate says RT Fender, enlist the part type as aftermarket or a/M CAPA certified, the insurance company is saying, we've found a cheaper certified equivalent. We're paying for this one. But here's the other side of the story. Go talk to a high-end body shop technician, and they will tell you horror stories. They'll tell you that even the best CAPA-certified aftermarket parts can be a nightmare. The metal might be a thinner gauge. The mounting holes might be off by a fraction of an inch, requiring them to be re-drilled. The gentle curve of a body line might not perfectly match the rest of the car, creating a visible and ugly gap. The primer on the part might be so poor that it needs to be completely sanded off and redone. All of this takes the technician extra time for which they are often not paid by the insurance company, to make a subpar part fit acceptably. Many of the best shops in the country have a policy of refusing to use aftermarket cosmetic parts because they can't guarantee the quality of the final repair. Let's make this real. Imagine you have a 2-year-old Honda CR-V that you love. Someone runs a stop sign and smashes your front passenger door. The insurance estimate comes back, and it lists a RTFRT door shell, a/M CAPA certified. It's $400 cheaper than the genuine Honda part. The shop manager calls you. He says, look, your insurance is only paying for this aftermarket door. We've had problems with these before. The fit is never perfect. It might close fine, but the gap between this door and the fender might be wider than the gap on the driver's side. You might hear a little more wind noise on the highway. We can try to fight them for a genuine Honda door, but they're going to push back, and it could delay your repair by a week or more. What do? You're paying your premiums every month for peace of mind, And now you're being told you have to accept a part that is demonstrably of a different quality than what the factory put on your car, all to save the insurance company $400. Is this really restoring your car to its pre-loss condition? This is the battle that plays out in repair shops across America every single day. And your decision can impact the look, the safety, and the resale value of your vehicle for years to come. So what are your rights? Are you legally required to accept these parts just because your insurance company specified them? And what about the other mysterious part types you might see like LKQ or remanufactured? What fresh hell is that? That is the critical next step. You need to know how to fight back. You need the playbook for demanding the quality parts your car was built with, and we're going to give it to you. In the next part, we will break down the exact strategies and even the magic words you can use to challenge the insurance company and get OEM parts approved. We'll also dissect those other part types so you can spot when they're trying to put a used junkyard part on your car and pass it off as good as new. So let's pull back the curtain on the single biggest battleground on your estimate: the parts. This is where the insurance company can save a fortune, and where you can get seriously shortchanged if you don't know the lingo. Your estimate will be littered with acronyms and codes, but they all boil down to 4 basic types of parts, and understanding the difference is your first line of defense. First up, the gold standard: OEM parts. OEM stands for Original Equipment Manufacturer. These are the brand new factory fresh parts made by or for your car's manufacturer. Ford, Toyota, BMW, you name it. They come in a box with the manufacturer's logo on it. They are identical to the parts that were on your car when it rolled off the assembly line. They fit perfectly, they perform as designed in a crash, and they are covered by the manufacturer's warranty. Think of it like this: if you need a new screen for your iPhone, an OEM part is like getting it fixed at the Apple Store. It's the real deal. No questions asked. This is what you want, and it's what the insurance company often wants to avoid, simply because it's the most expensive option. Next, we have aftermarket parts. These are the generic brand, the store brand cola to the OEM Coca-Cola. They are brand new parts made by a third-party company, not your car's manufacturer. They are designed to look and function like OEM parts, but they are almost always cheaper. Now, are they any good? The answer is a giant, frustrating "it depends." Some aftermarket companies make high-quality parts that are virtually indistinguishable from OEM. Others, not so much. The problem is inconsistency. An aftermarket fender might be made from a thinner gauge steel, have wavy body lines, or have mounting holes that are off by a few millimeters. That might not sound like a big deal, but it means the body shop has to spend extra time bending, drilling, and forcing it to fit, which can lead to uneven panel gaps and a car that just never looks right again. Now, you might see a note on your estimate next to an aftermarket part that says, CAPA Certified. CAPA stands for the Certified Automotive Parts Association. It's a third-party organization that tests and certifies that an aftermarket part has a similar fit, finish, and quality to its OEM counterpart. Is CAPA certification good? Yes, it's better than nothing. It's a baseline for quality. But here's the inside scoop: it's not a guarantee of perfection. A CAPA certified part is still not an OEM part. It was not designed and crash tested as part of your car's integrated safety system by the people who built the car. So while the insurer will point to CAPA certification as proof that they're using a quality replacement part, it's still a copy, not the original. The third category is remanufactured or reconditioned parts. These are a bit different. A remanufactured part is actually an old, used OEM part that has been sent back to a factory, completely disassembled, cleaned, inspected, and rebuilt with new or repaired components to bring it back to factory specifications. You see this most often with complex mechanical parts like engines, transmissions, alternators, or steering racks. It's less common for cosmetic body panels. Think of it like a certified refurbished laptop from the original manufacturer. It's not brand new, but it's an original unit that's been professionally restored to working order. In many cases, these can be a very good, cost-effective option, especially for mechanical components. Finally, we have the most controversial category: used salvage or LKQ parts. LKQ stands for like, kind, and quality, which is the insurance industry's fancy term for a part pulled off a wrecked car in a junkyard. Let's be blunt. It's a used part. The insurer will argue that if you had a 5-year-old car with a 5-year-old door, replacing a damaged door with a 5-year-old door from a salvage yard makes you whole. It's of like, kind, and quality. The reality is far more complicated. You have no idea about the history of that donor car. Was it in a flood? Was it maintained? Does that used door have hidden rust inside? Is the color really a perfect match after 5 years of fading in the sun? Or will it always look slightly off? For a simple part like a taillight assembly, a used part might be perfectly fine. But for a major body panel or a suspension component, you're introducing a part with an unknown history and potential hidden fatigue or damage onto your vehicle. So why does the insurance company push so hard for these non-OEM parts? It's simple money. Their legal obligation is to indemnify you, which means to restore you to the financial condition you were in right before the loss. Their goal is to achieve this pre-loss condition for the lowest possible cost. Their contracts are filled with clauses that allow them to use aftermarket or used parts to achieve this. They see a fender as a fender. If the aftermarket one is $200 cheaper, that's $200 straight to their bottom line. It's not personal, it's just their business model. But this is where you can and absolutely should fight back. Your policy is a contract, and the interpretation of pre-loss condition is your leverage. This brings us to the magic words and strategies you can use to challenge their estimate and demand OEM parts. First, and this is the easiest one, check your actual policy. Some drivers pay extra for an OEM endorsement or a genuine parts rider. If you have this on your policy, the fight is already over. You've been paying for the right to OEM parts, and they are contractually obligated to provide them. Point it out to your adjuster. End of story. Second, check your state's laws. Many states have specific regulations governing the use of non-OEM parts. For example, some states require the insurer to get your written consent before using aftermarket parts. Others prohibit the use of non-OEM parts on cars that are only a few years old. A quick internet search for your state auto insurance aftermarket parts law can arm you with powerful information. Being able to cite a specific state statute to an adjuster shows them you are not an easy pushover. If those two don't apply, it's time to build your case. Your argument should be built on 3 pillars: safety, fit and finish, and warranty. Let's start with safety. This is your trump card, especially for any part that is remotely structural. This includes bumpers, reinforcement bars, hoods, and radiator core supports. The magic words are, my vehicle's manufacturer designed and crash tested this car as a complete, integrated safety system using only original equipment manufacturer parts. You are specifying an aftermarket part that has not been crash tested by the manufacturer on my specific vehicle. I am not willing to compromise my family's safety with a part of unproven quality and performance. Using a non-OEM structural part fails to restore my vehicle to its proven, pre-loss condition of safety. Insurers are terrified of liability. The last thing they want is for you to be in a future accident where a cheap part fails, and you can point back to an email where they ignored your documented safety concerns. This argument is incredibly effective. Next, fit and finish. This applies to all cosmetic parts like fenders, doors, and bumper covers. The argument here is about value and appearance. You say, a quality repair is one that is undetectable. Aftermarket body panels are notorious for poor fitment, leading to inconsistent panel gaps and a wavy finish. This will result in a visibly repaired vehicle, which permanently diminishes its resale value. To be returned to my pre-loss condition, the vehicle must have the same precise fit and finish it had before the accident, which can only be guaranteed by using OEM parts. You can also have your chosen body shop back you up here. Ask them to put in writing that the specified aftermarket part is of inferior quality and will not allow them to perform a proper, undetectable repair. A note from the repair professional is powerful evidence. Finally, the warranty argument. This is a brilliant angle many people miss. Your car came with a factory warranty, particularly a corrosion or rust-through warranty. You say this, the use of a non-OEM fender will void my vehicle's factory corrosion warranty. If that aftermarket fender rusts in 2 years, the car manufacturer won't cover it, and neither will the part manufacturer. My pre-loss condition included a full factory warranty. By using this part, you are failing to restore my full warranty, and therefore you are not making me whole. This is a breach of the fundamental promise of the insurance policy, and it is very difficult for them to argue against. By combining these arguments, safety, fit and finish, and warranty, you move the conversation away from just cost. You reframe the issue around the insurer's core obligation to restore your vehicle to its exact pre-loss condition in every respect. You aren't just being difficult, you're making a logical, well-reasoned case that they are contractually obligated to honor. But parts are only one half of the equation on your estimate. The other half is labor, how much time the insurance company thinks it should take to fix your car, and how much they're willing to pay per hour for that time. And just like with parts, they have a whole playbook of tricks to pay as little as possible. We're going to expose that playbook next. We'll break down the different types of labor, explain what those mysterious acronyms like PDR and R&I mean, and show you how to spot it when the insurer is trying to underpay the body shop, forcing them to cut corners on your repair. So you're staring at this list of labor operations and it looks like a foreign language, right? You see things like body labor, refinish, mechanical, and a bunch of cryptic codes. This isn't just a list. It's the detailed recipe for rebuilding your car. And just like a recipe, if you leave out a key ingredient or skimp on the prep time, the final dish is a disaster. This section is where the battle between a quality repair and a cheap repair is truly fought. First, let's understand that not all labor is created equal. The hours you see on the estimate are broken down into different categories, each with its own hourly rate. The three you'll see most often are body, refinish, and mechanical. Body labor is the heavy lifting. This is the skilled work of manipulating the metal and structure of your vehicle. Think of a body technician as a sculptor who works with steel and aluminum. This category covers everything from hammering out a small dent to pulling a bent frame back into its exact factory specifications using massive, computer-guided machinery. When you see a line item for repair quarter panel with 8 hours of body labor, that's the time allocated for a technician to meticulously reshape that damaged metal, fill, and sand it to a perfectly smooth pre-paint condition. It's physically demanding, incredibly precise work, and it forms the foundation of the entire repair. Next is refinish labor or paint. This is the artistry. And trust me, it's so much more than just pointing a spray gun at your car. A high-quality paint job is a multi-stage process. First, there's the prep work, which is everything. The surface has to be flawlessly clean and prepared. Then comes the primer, which helps the paint adhere and provides a uniform base. Then a sealer, to prevent the old color from bleeding through. Then, multiple layers of the base coat, which is the actual color. And finally, several layers of clear coat, which gives the car its glossy shine and protects the color from the sun's UV rays. The hours allocated for refinish are calculated by the estimating software based on the size of the panel. But here's where a major fight often happens. It's over a procedure called blending. Your car's paint fades over time, even if you can't see it. If a shop just paints your new door, it will never perfectly match the 20-year-old fender right next to it. It'll stick out like a sore thumb. Blending is the process of fading the new paint onto the adjacent panels, the fender or the quarter panel, so the color transition is invisible to the human eye. It is the only way to guarantee a color match. Insurers hate paying for it. They'll often try to write an estimate that only pays to paint the repaired panel itself, a process called panel painting or painting to the edge. A good body shop will fight this tooth and nail because they know you'll be unhappy with the result. A bad shop, or one that's being squeezed by the insurer, might just do it, leaving you with a car that looks like a checkerboard in the sunlight. The third main category is mechanical labor. This covers anything that requires a mechanic's touch, not a body technician's. If your suspension was damaged in the accident, a mechanic needs to replace those components and then perform a wheel alignment. If your air conditioning condenser was smashed, a certified technician has to evacuate and recharge the AC system. This also includes things like diagnostic scans. Modern cars are rolling computers. After a collision, it's critical to scan all the vehicle's modules for hidden error codes that could affect anything from your airbags to your anti-lock brakes. Insurers sometimes try to refuse to pay for these post-repair scans, which is incredibly dangerous. Mechanical labor is non-negotiable for ensuring your car is not just cosmetically repaired, but safe to drive. Now, let's decipher those acronyms, the secret code of the estimate. The most common one you'll see is R&I, which stands for remove and install. This is for a part that is not damaged but is in the way of the repair. Think about it. To properly repair a dent in your car door, the technician can't just work around the mirror, the door handle, and the interior door panel. They have to carefully remove all those components, perform the repair on the bare door shell, and then reinstall everything perfectly. Each of those actions takes time, and that time is R&I. You might see R&I headlamp to fix the fender behind it, or R&I bumper to repair the radiator support. It's a critical part of a proper repair. Slightly different is R&R, which means remove and replace. This is simple. The old part is broken beyond repair. You remove it and you replace it with a new one. R&R front bumper means the old one is going in the trash and a new one is being put on. A less common one is O/H for overhaul. This applies to complex assemblies. For example, instead of replacing an entire transmission, a technician might overhaul it, which means completely disassembling it, replacing the internal damaged components, and then reassembling it. Then there's the magic acronym, PDR, or paintless dent repair. This is an amazing technique used for small, shallow dents where the paint isn't broken. A highly specialized technician uses special tools on the backside of the panel to gently massage the metal back into its original shape without damaging the paint. When it's an option, it's fantastic because it preserves your car's original factory paint finish. However, insurers sometimes try to specify PDR for a dent that is too large, too sharp, or in a location where the metal is stretched. They do this because PDR is usually cheaper than a conventional repair. But attempting PDR on the wrong kind of damage will either fail or result in a wavy, imperfect finish. A good shop will tell you when PDR is not the right choice. Okay, so you understand the labor types and the codes. Now, how does the insurer use this section to save money at your expense? It all comes down to the hours. The estimating systems we discussed in the last part suggest a certain amount of time to perform a specific operation, but the insurer can manually change it. Let's go back to that quarter panel repair. The system might say it takes 8 hours. The insurer's adjuster might look at a photo and say, "Nah, I think a good tech can do that in 6 hours," and they'll change the estimate. They are now underpaying the body shop by 2 full hours. What does the shop do? They can either absorb the loss, which no business can do for long, or they can make up the time. And how do they do that? They cut corners. Maybe they don't spend as much time meticulously shaping the metal. Maybe they rush the prep work before painting. Here's a hyper-specific example to look for. It's a process called feather, prime, and block. When a technician uses body filler on a dent, there's an edge where the filler meets the metal. To make that invisible, you have to carefully sand that edge, feathering it out. Then you apply multiple coats of special primer and sand it all perfectly flat, or block it, so the surface is a flawless sheet of glass. This is a time-consuming, skill-intensive process. It's also the only way to prevent that repair from being visible later on. If you skip this, you'll eventually see a faint ring around the repaired area, or the paint will start to peel. Some insurance estimates will completely omit the time for this procedure. It's one of the first things a quality shop looks for on an estimate, because its absence is a giant red flag that the insurer is trying to pay for a cheap, corner-cutting repair that will fail down the road. So your job is to be the advocate. Ask your shop manager, does this estimate include time for blending the adjacent panels? Does it properly account for feather, prime, and block on the repaired areas? Are you comfortable with the number of hours they've given you to do the job right? You're not trying to be an expert. You're showing that you're an informed consumer who expects a quality repair, not just a quick one. You're telling them you're on their side in the fight for quality. By understanding the language of labor, you've just gained a massive advantage. You know what the terms mean, you know the potential pitfalls, and you know the right questions to ask to protect the value and safety of your vehicle. But the labor is only half the story. The other, even more contentious part of the estimate is the list of parts themselves. This is where you'll find the biggest battleground in the entire industry, the war between OEM, aftermarket, and even junkyard parts. And what the insurance company chooses to put on your car can drastically affect its safety, its appearance, and its resale value. We're going deep into that minefield next, and we'll reveal the one type of part your insurer is praying you never ever ask for. So let's pull back the curtain on the single biggest battleground on your estimate, the parts list. This is where an insurance company can save or steal hundreds, even thousands of dollars from your repair. And it all comes down to a few cryptic letters next to each part name. First up, the insurer's absolute favorite, the one they will default to every single time if you let them. Aftermarket parts. You'll see them listed with codes like I/M or N. Think of it like this: you go to the grocery store for your favorite brand of cereal, the one you know and love. But right next to it is a generic version in a plain box that costs $1.50 less. That's an aftermarket part. It's a copy, a reverse-engineered imitation of the original. A company in a factory somewhere bought a real bumper, scanned it, and started pumping out their own version. Sounds okay, right? Copy is a copy. But here's the problem. They're not using the same materials, the same molds, or the same safety standards. The car manufacturer spent millions of dollars crash testing your car with a very specific bumper, made of a specific polymer blend, designed to crumple at a specific rate to protect you. The aftermarket company? They just need it to look close enough and fit, sort of. Body shop technicians will tell you horror stories. Fenders where the bolt holes are a 1/4 inch off. Hoods that don't line up, leaving uneven gaps. Bumper covers made of a cheaper, more brittle plastic that will crack on the first light tap instead of flexing. Even worse, some of these parts come from the factory with just a thin black primer on them called an e-coat. The shop has to sand it all off and start from scratch because the quality is so poor that paint won't even stick to it properly. This adds labor time, which, as we know, the insurer is also trying to squeeze. Using an aftermarket part can even void your car's factory warranty on related components. It's the cheapest option for a reason, and the insurer is passing all of the risk in fit, finish, and safety directly onto you. Next on the list is the one that sounds a little better, but has its own dark secrets: used parts. On your estimate, you'll see this listed as LKQ, which stands for like, kind, and quality. You might also see it labeled salvage or simply used. This is a part taken from a car in a junkyard. The insurance company's argument is, hey, you had a used 2019 door on your car, so we're giving you a used 2019 door to replace it. It's fair. On the surface, it makes some sense. And in one way, it's better than aftermarket. It's a genuine factory part. It was made by the original manufacturer. But here's the question they don't want you to ask. What's that part story? Where did it come from? That door they found in a salvage yard in another state. Was it from a car that was totaled in a flood? Is there hidden rust or corrosion on the inside? Was it from a car that was in a fire? Or was it from a vehicle that suffered a massive side impact? And while the door looks okay, its internal reinforcement beam is compromised? You have no idea. You are inheriting the entire history or lack thereof of that part. Think about it like an organ transplant. You're getting a real heart, not an artificial one. But you'd probably want to know a little bit about the donor, right? With LKQ parts, you're flying blind. And for certain parts, this is a massive gamble. A used wheel might have hidden stress fractures that could fail at highway speeds. A used headlight assembly might have seals that are already old and brittle, just waiting to fail and fill with condensation a few months down the road. The insurer presents it as an equivalent. It's not. It's a used part with an unknown past, and you're the one who has to live with the consequences. Then we have a middle ground category: reconditioned or remanufactured parts. You'll see codes like recon or reman. These are also used OEM parts, but they've been repaired or rebuilt in some way to bring them back to a functional condition. This is very common for mechanical components like alternators, starters, or transmissions. For those parts, it can be a perfectly acceptable, cost-effective repair. But when it comes to cosmetic or structural parts, it gets murky. A reconditioned bumper cover is just a used bumper that was damaged, filled with plastic filler, sanded down, and primed. It's a repaired part, and it now has a weak spot. It will never have the same structural integrity it had when it was new. The insurer loves to label this as a quality replacement part, but in reality, it's a damaged part that's been patched up. Okay, so we've waded through the murky waters of aftermarket copies, mystery meat used parts, and patched up reconditioned parts. This is the world the insurance company wants you to live in. But now we get to the part your insurer is praying you never learn about, the one they will fight you tooth and nail to avoid paying for. The gold standard. The only true pre-loss condition restoration. I'm talking about new, factory-fresh, original equipment manufacturer parts. OEM. These are the parts your car was built with at the factory. They come in a box with the carmaker's logo on it. They are made from the exact same materials on the exact same tooling, and held to the exact same rigorous safety and quality standards as the one that just got damaged. There is no question of fit. There is no question of quality. There is no question of safety. It maintains your vehicle's warranty. It protects your car's resale value, because when it's repaired with OEM parts, it's as close to original as you can possibly get. So why do they fight it? One reason, and one reason only: cost. An OEM fender might cost $300. An aftermarket copy might be $120. That's $180 of pure profit for the insurance company, multiplied by millions of claims per year. It is a business model. Their entire strategy is built on convincing you that you are not entitled to OEM parts. They will use a word that's designed to shut you down: betterment. The adjuster will get on the phone and say with a very confident tone, well, we can't pay for a brand new OEM part because that would be betterment. You had a 4-year-old part on your car, and putting a brand new one on would be making your car better than it was before the accident. Our policy is just to return you to your pre-accident condition. This is an incredibly deceptive, manipulative argument. Let me be crystal clear. Restoring your vehicle with a new, undamaged, factory warranty part is not betterment. It is restoration. The part that was on your car before the accident was an original factory part that had never been damaged in a collision. The only way to return it to that specific condition, original factory undamaged, is to use a new OEM part. A used part is already a step down because it has an unknown history and age. An aftermarket part is a giant leap down in quality. They are not like kind and quality. They are inferior. Demanding the part your car was literally built with is not an upgrade. It's the baseline. It's what you were paying your premiums for all along. The promise to be made whole. The one type of part your insurer is praying you never ask for is the one you should have been getting all along, new OEM. But just knowing you should ask for them isn't enough. Your policy might even have language specifically allowing them to use non-OEM parts. So how do you fight back? How do you counter their betterment argument? How do you force their hand when they point to page 17, section B, paragraph 4 of your policy and say, see, we don't have to? There are specific phrases, specific requests, and even specific legal precedents you can use to dismantle their arguments one by one. The adjuster is reading from a script designed to make you give up. And in the next part, we're going to give you the counterscript. We'll show you exactly what to say and what to demand to get the OEM parts you deserve. All right, the phone rings. It's the adjuster. Take a deep breath. This isn't a confrontation. It's a negotiation. You are calm, you are prepared, and you are in control. Let's walk through this word for word. The adjuster will likely open with something friendly but firm. Hi, this is Bill from Acme Insurance. I'm calling about your claim. We've reviewed the estimate from the body shop, and we've approved the repairs using certified aftermarket parts. We should be able to get your car into the shop next week. This is your moment. Don't get angry. Don't argue. Simply state your position clearly and professionally. Your response: Hi Bill, thank you for the update. I've also reviewed the estimate, and I'm requesting a revision. My vehicle must be repaired using only original equipment manufacturer, or OEM parts. I do not consent to the use of aftermarket or reconditioned parts on my vehicle. You've just drawn your line in the sand. You were polite but unambiguous. Now the adjuster will open their playbook. They will pull out their first argument, the one we talked about, like kind and quality. They'll say, I understand your concern, but our policy covers parts of like kind and quality, and these certified aftermarket parts meet that standard. They're functionally identical to the OEM parts and come with a lifetime warranty. This is where you dismantle their premise. You don't argue about the warranty. You question the definition of quality. Your counterscript: I appreciate that they come with a warranty, but like kind and quality is a very subjective term. An OEM part is designed and crash tested by my vehicle's manufacturer as part of an integrated safety system. An aftermarket part is a reverse-engineered copy. To help me understand, could you please provide me with the crash test data and safety certifications from my car's manufacturer? Let's say it's a Toyota, stating that this specific aftermarket bumper from this specific third-party company performs identically to their original part in a collision. Also, can you provide documentation that it won't affect my vehicle's factory warranty? Checkmate. They can't provide this. No car manufacturer endorses aftermarket collision parts. The adjuster knows this. You've just exposed the weakness in their core argument. They will likely pause, shuffle some papers, and pivot to their second tactic, blaming your policy. They'll say, well, your policy only obligates us to cover the cost of the most cost-effective repair, which in this case is with aftermarket parts. We are only contractually obligated to pay for the aftermarket price. This is a deliberate misinterpretation of their contract with you. Your policy is a contract of indemnification to restore you to the state you were in moments before the loss. Your counterscript targets this exact principle. Your response: could you please show me the specific exclusion in my policy that states OEM parts are not covered in a claim? My understanding is that my policy is designed to restore my vehicle to its pre-loss condition. A car repaired with imitation parts is fundamentally not in the same condition it was pre-accident. It has been altered with components that the original manufacturer did not design, approve, or safety rate for my specific vehicle. Restoring it to pre-loss condition means using the exact same parts that were on it before the crash. You're not asking for their opinion. You're asking for proof from the contract. Again, they likely can't provide it because that specific exclusion usually doesn't exist. So, they pivot to their final, most common tactic, putting the cost on you. They'll say, Okay, you are welcome to request OEM parts from the body shop, but the insurance company will only pay the amount for the aftermarket equivalent. You will be responsible for paying the difference in price out of pocket. This is the bluff that makes most people fold. But you won't. This is where you reframe the entire conversation from a matter of preference to a matter of contractual duty. Your counterscript. I believe there's a misunderstanding of the policy's purpose. My policy is a contract to make me whole after a covered loss. The loss is a vehicle damaged in an accident. The cost to make me whole is the cost to repair my vehicle properly and safely to manufacturer specifications. The price difference between an OEM part and an aftermarket part is not my responsibility. It's part of the total cost of the proper repair. Your company's decision to source cheaper, non-original parts is an internal cost-saving strategy. That strategy does not legally transfer the remaining cost of a proper repair onto me, the claimant. You see the shift? It's not about you wanting something extra or better. It's about them fulfilling their obligation to pay for a full and proper repair. Now, if the adjuster is still holding their ground, it's time to bring out the big guns. You are going to escalate the issue from one of cost to one of safety and liability. This is the argument they are trained to avoid at all costs. Your next response. My primary concern here is safety. The parts you're specifying, the bumper, the reinforcement bar, the radiator support, are critical components of my vehicle's crash management system. They are designed to absorb and distribute energy in a specific way to protect me and my family. Using a non-OEM part, which has not been tested by the manufacturer, could compromise that system. So my question is this. Are you, as a representative of my insurance company, willing to put in writing that your company guarantees this aftermarket part is just as safe as the original, and that your company assumes 100% of the liability for any future injuries sustained by me or my passengers due to the failure or improper performance of this non-OEM part in a subsequent accident? Silence. This is the question they absolutely cannot and will not answer with a yes. They will never put that in writing because it would expose their company to unimaginable liability. The adjuster's script has no response for this. They are now completely off book. If they are still trying to argue, you can add the diminished value argument. Furthermore, repairing my car with aftermarket parts creates an immediate and documented financial loss for me called diminished value. When I go to sell or trade in this vehicle, any sophisticated buyer or dealer will run a history report and inspect the vehicle. The presence of non-original, aftermarket collision parts will significantly lower its value. By insisting on these parts, you are not making me whole. You are repairing my car in a way that directly causes me to lose money. Using OEM parts is the only way to properly repair the vehicle and mitigate that loss. By now, the adjuster knows you are not an average claimant. You are informed, you are articulate, and you are not going away. If they still say they can't help you, you make your final move for this call. Your response. I understand that you may be working within certain guidelines. At this point, I need to speak with your direct supervisor or a claims manager who has the authority to approve this revision. We are at an impasse, and I need to escalate this to someone who can approve the use of OEM parts based on the critical safety, liability, and contractual issues I've raised. Be polite but be firm. You are not asking for permission, you are directing the next step. After the call, you immediately follow up with an email. Summarize everything. Dear Bill, as per our conversation, I am reiterating my formal request that only OEM parts be used for my repair due to significant concerns about vehicle safety, crashworthiness, and diminished value. I do not authorize the use of aftermarket parts. I am awaiting a call from your supervisor to finalize the approval of the revised estimate. You now have a paper trail. You have a record of your logical, safety-based argument. You have taken control of the process. You've turned their script against them and left them with no logical choice but to escalate your claim. And that escalation is exactly what you want. Because the person up the chain knows that fighting a well-informed customer on safety and liability is a battle they are almost certain to lose. So now you've drawn a line in the sand. You've used the magic words, safety, pre-accident condition, and manufacturer's repair procedures. You've turned their own rulebook against them. The initial adjuster you're speaking with is now in a box. Their script has run out of pages. They can't approve what you're asking for, but they also can't logically deny it without creating a massive liability for their company. And that's the beautiful moment when you hear the words you've been waiting for. Let me get my supervisor. This is not a defeat. This is a victory. You have successfully moved your claim off the assembly line, and into the hands of a decision maker. The first-level adjuster is a gatekeeper. Their job is to process thousands of claims as quickly and cheaply as possible, guided by software and strict metrics. They have very little authority. A supervisor, on the other hand, has discretion. They have a budget for goodwill payments. They have the authority to override the computer. And most importantly, they have the job of preventing small problems like your claim from becoming big, expensive legal problems. When you get that supervisor on the phone, your tone doesn't change. You remain calm, polite, and firm. You simply restate your case. I understand the initial estimate was based on a visual inspection, but my chosen repair facility, which is certified to work on this brand of vehicle, has advised me that to restore my car to its pre-accident condition and ensure its safety, these specific manufacturer-required procedures must be followed. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page about prioritizing a safe and proper repair. Notice you're not arguing about money. You're talking about process and safety. The supervisor's brain is a calculator, and it's running a risk-reward analysis. The risk of fighting you is a potential lawsuit, a complaint to the state insurance commissioner, and a massive headache. The reward for approving the correct repair is, they get to close your file and move on. The math is simple. 9 times out of 10, they will authorize the shop to proceed with a proper teardown and repair plan. And that brings us to the most misunderstood and crucial part of this entire process. The supplement. The initial estimate you fought over? You can practically throw it in the trash. It's a fantasy document. It's an opening offer based on damage you can see from 10 feet away. But cars are not just metal skins. They are complex machines with layers of components. The real damage, the expensive damage, is almost always hidden. A bent bumper might be hiding a cracked reinforcement bar, a damaged radiator support, a crush sensor, or even a slightly tweaked frame rail. You can't know until the car is actually in the shop and the technician starts taking it apart. This process of finding the hidden damage is called the teardown. And every single item discovered during the teardown that wasn't on the original estimate becomes part of a supplemental claim, or simply, a supplement. A typical collision repair might have 2, 3, or even more supplements. The shop takes off the bumper, finds a broken bracket. That's supplement number 1. They send photos and documentation to the insurance company. The adjuster approves it. Then they take off the headlight and find the mounting points on the fender are cracked. That's supplement number 2. Back to the insurance company. They remove the fender and find the underlying structure is bent. That's supplement number 3. This is the real battleground of your auto repair. It's a slow, grinding, back-and-forth negotiation between your body shop and the insurance adjuster. And here is where your choice of body shop becomes the single most important factor in this entire journey. A great shop will fight for you. They will meticulously document the damage, cite the manufacturer's procedures, and justify every single line item. A bad shop, one that has a cozy relationship with the insurance company, might just do the bare minimum to get the car out the door. They won't look for hidden damage because submitting supplements is a hassle, and they don't want to annoy the adjuster who sends them a steady stream of work. Your role during this phase is to be the project manager. You are not a passive observer. You need to be actively involved. When you drop your car off, you have a conversation with the service advisor. You tell them, I want you to fight for the best possible repair, following all manufacturer guidelines. Please keep me in the loop on any supplements you submit, and let me know immediately if the insurer gives you any pushback. Then you follow up. Every few days you call the shop. Hi, just checking in on my vehicle. How did the teardown go? Did you find any supplemental damage? Have you submitted it to the insurance company yet? You should also call your insurance adjuster. Hi, just wanted to check in. I know the shop is sending over a supplement for some hidden damage they found. I want to make sure you have everything you need to approve it quickly, so we can keep the repairs moving. Your proactive, polite involvement does 2 things. First, it signals to both the shop and the insurer that you are watching. You're an engaged, informed customer, not an easy mark. Second, it helps grease the wheels. Sometimes, a supplement sits in an adjuster's email inbox for days. A polite phone call can get it moved to the top of the pile. Now let's talk about the specific things insurers will try to deny in a supplement and how you can fight back. First up, blending. This is a huge one. Let's say your driver's side door was damaged. The shop will paint the new door. But if they just bolt that freshly painted door onto the car, it will never match. The paint on the rest of your car has been baked in the sun. It has faded ever so slightly. The new door will stick out like a sore thumb. To create an invisible repair, the painter needs to blend the new paint into the adjacent panels, the front fender and the rear quarter panel. They spray a light coat of the new color over the edges of the old panels, then clear coat the entire thing. So the color transition is gradual and invisible to the human eye. Insurance companies hate paying for blending. They'll say, "We're not paying to paint a panel that wasn't damaged." Your response and your shop's response should be simple. Blending is a required procedure by virtually every auto manufacturer to guarantee a color match. Denying the blend is denying a return to pre-accident condition. Are you putting it in writing that you are refusing to follow the manufacturer's recommended repair procedure for color matching? They will fold almost every time. Second, one-time use parts. Modern vehicles are filled with components designed to be used only once. These are often torque-to-yield bolts found in suspension and subframe components. When they're tightened at the factory, they stretch slightly to achieve the perfect clamping force. Once they're removed, they cannot be safely retightened. They must be replaced. The same goes for many plastic clips, fasteners, and emblems. Insurers will try to save a few bucks by telling the shop to reuse the old bolts. This is incredibly dangerous. A reused suspension bolt could fail, leading to a catastrophic loss of control. Your shop should be identifying these parts, and you should back them up 100%. The argument is simple. The manufacturer designates this as a one-time use part for safety reasons. Reusing it would make the car unsafe and would make both the shop, and you, the insurer, liable in the event of a failure. Finally, the most important battle of the modern era. Pre- and post-repair scans. Your car is a network of computers. It has sensors for the engine, transmission, airbags, anti-lock brakes, and advanced driver assistance systems like blind spot monitoring and automatic emergency braking. A collision, even a minor one, can set off a cascade of fault codes in these systems. An airbag sensor might be knocked offline. A radar sensor for your cruise control might be slightly misaligned. The only way to know what's wrong is to perform a full system diagnostic scan before the repair begins. This is the pre-repair scan. It gives the technician a roadmap of all the electronic issues that need to be addressed. Then, after all the physical and mechanical work is done, they must perform a post-repair scan to ensure all the codes are cleared, all the systems are communicating properly, and most importantly, to recalibrate any sensors that were disturbed. Calibrating a forward-facing radar or camera is a precise, painstaking process that can take hours and requires special equipment. Insurers will fight tooth and nail to avoid paying for these scans and calibrations. They'll say, "There was no dash light on, so it wasn't necessary." This is a dangerously ignorant position. Many fault codes do not trigger a warning light. Denying these scans is like a doctor refusing to take an X-ray after a bad fall because there's no bone sticking out. This is your ultimate trump card. You do not budge on this. You state, "My vehicle is equipped with advanced safety systems." The manufacturer requires diagnostic scans and recalibrations after a collision to ensure those systems function correctly. Refusing this procedure is a willful disregard for my safety and the safety of others on the road. I need you to confirm in writing that you are taking full liability for the performance of these safety systems. If you refuse to authorize the required scans and calibrations, they will not put that in writing. They will approve the scan, because what you've done is brilliantly simple. You've made it clear that the cheap option is no longer the safe option for them. Approving the proper repair is now their path of least resistance and least liability. You've taken control of the process, ensuring your vehicle is not just cosmetically repaired, but truly, safely, and completely restored. But what happens when the cost of all these supplements starts to spiral, getting dangerously close to the total value of your car? That's when the insurance company starts thinking about a different strategy entirely. Totaling your car out. And that is a completely different kind of fight. When we talk about a car being totaled, most people picture a twisted wreck, something you'd see in a movie. But in the world of insurance, a total loss is not a judgment on the car's physical state. It's a business decision. It's pure math. An insurance company declares your vehicle a total loss when the cost to repair it, plus its potential scrap or salvage value, meets or exceeds its value right before the accident. This trigger point is called the total loss threshold. And it's not the same everywhere. It's dictated by state law. In some states, it's a hard percentage. For example, if your car is worth $10,000 and the state has a 75% threshold, any repair estimate over $7,500 means the car is automatically totaled. Other states use what's called a total loss formula, or TLF. This formula is a bit more complex. If the cost of repairs plus the car's salvage value is greater than or equal to its actual cash value, it's a total. So if your $10,000 car needs $8,000 in repairs, and the insurer knows they can sell the wreck to a salvage yard for another $2,500, that's $10,500. That number is higher than the car's value, so it's totaled. The insurer would rather just write you a check for the car's value and take possession of the wreck to recoup some of their money. It's cheaper for them. And that brings us to the single most important, most fought-over number in this entire process, the ACV. Actual cash value. This is the number that will define your next few weeks, and potentially your financial future. So what is actual cash value? Let's start with what it is not. It is not what you paid for the car. It is not the Kelley Blue Book value you looked up online. It is not what you still owe on your loan. And it is certainly not the replacement cost, the price you'd have to pay to buy a similar car from a dealer's lot tomorrow. Actual cash value is what your specific vehicle, with its exact mileage, options, and condition, was worth on the open market 1 second before the impact. It's a snapshot in time of its fair market value. And how do insurance companies determine this magical number? They don't just guess. They pay a lot of money to third-party data companies, names like CCC, Mitchell, and Auditex, to generate a detailed market valuation report. When the adjuster tells you your car is a total loss, your first demand should be, send me a copy of the full valuation report. Not a summary, the whole thing. This report is your battlefield. It's where the fight is won or lost. When you get it, you'll see it's a multi-page document that looks incredibly official and intimidating. That's by design. But when you know what to look for, you can start to pick it apart. The report will list your vehicle's information at the top. The year, make, model, and VIN. The very first thing you must do is check this for accuracy. Did they list your car as a base model when you have the top-tier limited trim with the premium package? This is a huge and surprisingly common error that can cost you thousands. Verify every single option and feature they have listed against what your car actually had. Sunroof, leather seats, navigation, advanced safety features. Every box that isn't checked is money being left on the table. Next, the report will list several comparable vehicles, or comps. These are supposedly similar cars that have recently sold, or are currently for sale in your local market. This is the heart of their valuation. The software averages the prices of these comps, makes some adjustments, and spits out your ACV. And this is where you need to become a detective. Look at their comps with a critical eye. The insurer's software is programmed to find the cheapest possible examples. Your job is to disqualify them. Is one of the comps 150 miles away in a completely different economic area? Argue that it's not in your local market. Does a comp have 30,000 more miles than your car did? That's not a fair comparison. Does one of them have a branded title like a prior salvage or lemon law buyback? Get it thrown out. You are looking for legitimate reasons to invalidate their lowball examples. Then you go on the offensive. You need to find your own comps. Go to AutoTrader, Cars.com, and even dealership websites. Search for your car's exact year, make, model, and trim level within a 50 or 75-mile radius of your home. Find cars that are as close as possible to your vehicle's pre-accident mileage and condition. Screenshot everything. Save the VINs, the asking prices, the list of options. You are building a portfolio of evidence to prove your car was worth more than their offer. And remember, you should be looking at dealer asking prices. The insurance company will argue that these prices are negotiable, and they'll try to dock 5 to 10% off for a typical negotiation discount. That's fine. Even with that reduction, dealer prices are almost always higher than the private party values their software favors. The next section on the report to attack is the condition adjustment. The system will almost always default your car's pre-accident condition to average. They will then take deductions from the base value for things they consider wear and tear. But was your car average? Did you meticulously maintain it? Was it garage kept with flawless paint? Did you have brand new top-of-the-line tires put on last month? Now is the time to prove it. This is where your records are crucial. Find the receipt for those new tires. Find the service records for the recent major maintenance you had done. Gather pre-accident photos of your car that show it was in pristine condition. You need to build a case, item by item, that your car was above average or even excellent. Every positive adjustment you can argue for adds dollars to the final settlement. You are presenting a counter-argument to the insurer, backed by concrete evidence. You send them an email with your list of errors in their report, your more accurate comparable vehicles, and your proof of the car's superior condition and recent upgrades. You are not just complaining. You are methodically dismantling their valuation and building a stronger one. Now let's say you go through all this and you agree on a value. There's another conversation to be had. What if you owe more on the car than the final ACV settlement? If you owe $15,000 but the ACV is only $12,000, you're on the hook for that $3,000 difference. Your lender doesn't care that the car is gone. You still owe them the money. This is where a little-known hero called gap insurance comes in. If you purchase gap coverage when you bought the car, it pays off that difference between the insurance payout and your loan balance. Without it, you're paying out of pocket for a car you no longer own. And what if you actually want to keep the wrecked car? Maybe it has sentimental value, or you're a mechanic and you know you can fix it yourself for cheap. You can, in most cases, choose to own or retain the salvage. The insurance company will pay you the ACV minus the salvage value they would have gotten from the junkyard. But be warned, your car will now have a salvage title, which makes it much harder to insure, register, and ever sell again. It's a major decision with long-term consequences. The total loss process isn't a simple transaction. It's a negotiation. The insurance company's first offer is just that, an opening bid. It's based on data and algorithms designed to pay out the least amount possible within the law. But now you know how to read their playbook. You know how to build your case, challenge their numbers, and fight for the true value of what you've lost. But getting them to agree on a number is only half the battle. What happens next? How do you actually get the check, deal with the lien holder, and navigate the final, complex paperwork of signing over your title? That final agreement on the settlement value triggers a cascade of events, a formal process designed to do one thing: legally transfer ownership of your wrecked vehicle from you to the insurance company in exchange for their money. This isn't just a handshake deal. It's a legal transaction, and the paperwork is the proof. Within a day or two of your verbal agreement, you'll receive a settlement packet, either by email or overnight mail. This packet is the rulebook for the final phase of the game. Opening it can feel intimidating. It's filled with official-looking documents, legal jargon, and places for you to sign your name. But let's break down the 3 most important documents you're almost guaranteed to find inside. First, you'll see the settlement agreement, or release of all claims. This is the big one. This document is a legally binding contract that says you accept their settlement amount as full and final payment for your vehicle claim. By signing it, you are officially agreeing that the negotiation is over. You're releasing them from any further obligation related to the physical damage of your car. It is absolutely critical that you read this document. Make sure the settlement amount listed is the exact number you agreed to, down to the penny. Check that it includes any applicable taxes and fees we discussed. Once you sign this, there's no going back. You can't call them a week later and say you found a better comparable vehicle, or that you forgot to mention your new tires. This document closes the door on negotiation forever. Second, you'll likely find a power of attorney form. Now that phrase can sound terrifying. It brings to mind images of signing away your life savings. But in this context, it's a very specific and limited tool. This is a limited power of attorney, meaning it gives the insurance company the power to do one thing and one thing only: sign the title and other DMV documents on your behalf to transfer ownership. Why do they need this? Efficiency. Imagine they have to get the title, then send it back to you for a signature, then you send it back to them. It would add weeks to the process. This form allows them to take possession of the vehicle and immediately process the title transfer to sell it at a salvage auction. It's a standard, necessary part of the process. You're not giving them access to your bank account. You're just giving them the key to the car's title paperwork. Third is the odometer disclosure statement. This is a federal requirement. It's a simple form where you state the vehicle's mileage at the time of the accident and sign, attesting that it's accurate to the best of your knowledge. It's a straightforward fraud prevention measure. Now, how you handle this paperwork and where the money goes depends entirely on one crucial question: did you have a loan on the car? Let's tackle the most common and complex scenario first. You have a loan and you owe money to a bank or credit union. They are the lien holder. A lien is simply a legal claim on a piece of property. Because the bank technically has a stake in your car until it's paid off, they have a right to the insurance money. In fact, they get paid first. The insurance company will not send the check directly to you. Let me repeat that because it's a shock to many people. If you have a loan, the settlement check will not be made out to you. It will be made out to your lien holder. The insurance company will verify the exact amount you still owe on your loan, what's called the 10-day payoff amount. They will then send the settlement funds directly to that bank. This is where the math gets very personal. Scenario A is positive equity. Let's say the insurance company settled with you for $20,000. You call your bank and your loan payoff is $16,000. The insurance company sends the full $20,000 to the bank. The bank takes its $16,000, closing out your loan completely. They are now made whole. The bank will then release the title to the insurance company, and most importantly, they will cut you a check for the remaining $4,000. This is your equity. This is the money you get to keep to use as a down payment on your next car. But then there's scenario B, the one drivers dread, negative equity, or being upside down on your loan. Let's use the same $20,000 settlement. But this time your loan payoff is $23,000. The insurance company sends the $20,000 to the bank. That's all they are legally obligated to pay. This leaves a $3,000 shortfall. You are still legally on the hook for that remaining $3,000. The bank will not release the title to the insurance company until they are paid in full. This means the entire settlement process grinds to a halt until you write a check to your bank for $3,000. Only then will they accept the insurance payment, close the loan, and release the title. It's a painful, frustrating situation, and it's the moment where gap insurance becomes a financial lifesaver. If you have gap, or guaranteed asset protection, insurance, this is its moment to shine. Gap is a separate policy that covers the gap between what your car is worth and what you owe on it. In our example, you would file a gap claim, and they would pay that $3,000 difference to the bank, saving you from having to come up with that money out of pocket. If you don't have gap, that financial burden falls entirely on you. Now, what if you're in the fortunate position of owning your car outright? No loan, no lien holder. The process is 1,000 times simpler. The settlement check is made out directly to you. The insurance company will send you the paperwork, the settlement agreement, the power of attorney, the odometer statement, and will instruct you on how to sign and hand over your physical title. In most states, the owner's signature is required on the back of the title in a specific spot to release ownership. Be incredibly careful here. Don't sign in the wrong place. Don't use whiteout. A mistake on a legal document like a title can cause significant delays, as you'll have to apply for a duplicate title from the DMV, which can take weeks. Once the insurance company receives your signed paperwork and the clear title, they will process the payment. This can happen in a couple of ways. Some companies are moving to electronic funds transfer, or EFT, where they deposit the money directly into your bank account, which is the fastest method. Others will still mail a physical check. From the time they receive your correct and complete paperwork, you should expect to see the funds within 7 to 10 business days. So you've navigated the paperwork, dealt with the lien holder, signed over the title, and the money is finally on its way. Feels like the end. You're ready to put this whole ordeal behind you and start car shopping. But this is a critical moment where people let their guard down, and it costs them. The total loss settlement for your vehicle is just one piece of the puzzle. What about the rental car they've been paying for? The moment you accept the settlement, the clock on that rental is about to expire, often with only a few days' notice. What about the personal property that was in your car? Your sunglasses, your gym bag, the child seat in the back? Getting reimbursed for those items is a separate claim process that many people forget entirely. And perhaps most importantly, how is this total loss going to affect your insurance rates for the next 3 to 5 years? The check in your hand isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of the financial fallout. That rate increase is the ghost that will haunt you long after your totaled car is a distant memory. An at-fault accident, especially one resulting in a total loss payout, is one of the biggest red flags for an insurance company. To them, you've just transformed from a safe, predictable client into a high-risk liability. On average, a single at-fault accident can spike your premiums by 40 to 80%, and in some cases, even more. This isn't a one-time penalty. It's a surcharge that can stay on your policy for 3 to 5 years, depending on your insurer and your state's regulations. Do the math. If you're paying $150 a month, a 50% increase is an extra $720 a year. Over 5 years, that's $3,600 in additional premiums, all stemming from one bad day. This is the true long-tail cost of an accident that the initial estimate never ever mentions. And this financial hit comes at the exact moment you're most vulnerable. You've just lost your primary mode of transportation. The check from the insurance company, that actual cash value figure we fought so hard to negotiate, is now in your hand. But here's the brutal truth. That check is almost never enough to make you whole. It's designed to give you the value of the car you lost, not the money you need to buy a replacement. Think about it. You're not going out to buy a used car with the exact same mileage and wear and tear. You're likely looking for something newer, more reliable. And the moment you step onto a dealership lot, a whole new set of costs appears. First, there's sales tax. Depending on your state, that's another 5 to 10% of the vehicle's price that you have to pay out of pocket. Then there are title fees, registration fees, and dealer documentation fees. These can add up to hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. The ACV check doesn't cover any of this. It's meant to replace the asset, not the costs associated with acquiring a new one. This gap, the delta between the insurance payout and the drive-off-the-lot price of a new vehicle, is where so many people get into financial trouble. If you had gap insurance on your loan, it might cover the difference between the ACV and your loan balance, saving you from writing a check to the bank for a car you no longer own. But it does nothing to help you buy the next one. You are starting from scratch. And if you didn't have a loan, that whole gap is on you. Suddenly, your $5,000 emergency fund is gone, just to cover the taxes and fees on a comparable replacement car. This is why your actions in the days following a total loss declaration are absolutely critical. Your goal is to mitigate the damage and set yourself up for the best possible financial recovery. The first, most crucial step: do not be in a rush to cash that check. The moment your bank accepts that deposit, you are accepting their settlement offer. The case is closed. You forfeit almost all of your leverage. Before that check is cashed, you need to be 100% certain that you've negotiated the highest possible ACV, that you've accounted for every feature, every recent repair, and every comparable vehicle in your market. Simultaneously, you need to become your own insurance agent. Don't wait for your policy renewal to see the damage. The rate hike is coming. Your current insurer already knows it. The question is, can you do better elsewhere? The answer is almost always yes. Start shopping for new insurance policies immediately. Get quotes from at least 5 or 6 different carriers. Some companies are far more forgiving of a single at-fault accident than others. A competitor might see you as a calculated risk and offer you a rate that, while higher than your pre-accident premium, is significantly lower than the 40 or 80% hike your current company is about to slam you with. You might discover a painful reality of the insurance marketplace. Loyalty is often penalized, not rewarded. The company you've been with for 10 years without a claim might hit you with the harshest increase because their internal risk algorithms are less forgiving. A new company, hungry for your business, might be willing to give you a better welcome rate to get you in the door. And in some cases, the situation is even more dire. Your insurance company might decide they don't want your business at all anymore. They might choose to non-renew your policy at the end of its term. This isn't a cancellation. It's a "we're breaking up with you" notice. They'll give you a heads up, usually 30 to 60 days, that you need to find coverage elsewhere. This is precisely why you can't be complacent. If you wait until you get that non-renewal letter, you'll be scrambling to find a new policy before you have a lapse in coverage. A lapse in coverage is a catastrophic event for your insurance record. It makes you look even riskier, and future premiums will be astronomically higher. Even a single day of being uninsured can have devastating consequences if you get into another accident or are pulled over. So the strategy is clear. Once the total loss is confirmed, your life becomes a two-front war. On one front, you are battling your adjuster for every last dollar of ACV. On the other, you are proactively shopping the market for your next insurance policy, preparing for the inevitable rate shock. But this isn't a permanent state of affairs. You can recover. The next 3 to 5 years are your probationary period. Your mission is to be the safest, most boring driver on the road. No speeding tickets. No fender benders. No claims of any kind. Every year of clean driving reduces your risk profile. You can also proactively lower your rates during this time. Take an accredited defensive driving course online. It's usually a few hours and costs less than $50, but it can net you a 5 to 10% discount on your policy for several years. This small action can save you hundreds of dollars while you're weathering the accident surcharge. And then mark your calendar. 3 years after the accident, and then again at 5 years, it's time to reshop your insurance aggressively. At these milestones, the accident will fall off the record that many insurers use for rating. You will no longer be considered a high-risk driver. You'll once again be eligible for the best rates, the preferred customer discounts. This is your chance to reset your financial baseline and get your premiums back down to where they belong. We've journeyed through the entire life cycle of an auto insurance estimate, from the chaos at the scene of the crash to the fine print on a body shop's report. From the heated negotiation over a total loss to the long-term financial strategy for recovery, what began as a simple guide has revealed a complex, often adversarial system where knowledge is not just power, it's money. It's your money. The estimate you receive is not a final offer. It's an opening bid. The value they assign to your car is not a fact. It's a starting point for negotiation. And the check they write is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of a new chapter where you must be vigilant, proactive, and strategic to protect your financial future. You are now equipped with the understanding that separates the victim from the victor in this process. You know what to look for, what questions to ask, and when to push back. You understand that your insurance policy isn't just a monthly bill. It's a financial shield, and it's your responsibility to understand how it works before you need it most. The next time you see a tow truck on the side of the highway, you won't just see a damaged vehicle. You'll see a complex financial negotiation about to unfold. And now you know how to navigate it.